Texas, our Texas. A magical place. A place of land and legend. A place like no other. People come here to touch it. To feel the passion. To soak it in and be a part of it. Texas, our Texas.
Let's ride. Yeah! Well, howdy, neighbors. I'm Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller, and welcome to our all-new program, Texas, Our Texas. We have a new look, a new attitude, and all new stories to tell about the people and places of Texas. Now, we're going to start off this week going to Emory, Texas, with a special story of a rancher who's one of the next generation of Texans working the land and raising a very unique type of livestock. It's a bright, clear morning in Emory, Texas, and ranch manager Emily Bonin has begun her day. Yes, sir, 24-year-old Emily is a cattle, sheep, and pig rancher. She didn't grow up on the range, but more like the sandy beaches of the West Coast. But her passion for Texas agriculture now runs as deep as any generational legacy.
I was born in California, Southern California, and I had no experience doing this. I lived a mile from the beach, and then when I was 8, moved to Texas here, and then just really fell in love with the cowboy culture and ranching, farming, and all that. And then in high school, I started FFA, and that's where my passion just took off. And so I came home from school one day, and I said, "Dad, I'm getting a pig." And he was like, "Oh, we're gonna learn together."
With just a little help every now and then, Emily is basically a one-woman crew. Cattle rancher, sheep herder, truck driver. She feeds the pigs and drives the trucks and drives the tractors. Hot days, cold nights, early mornings, and more physical labor than she had ever imagined. But Emily has never felt more alive in the quiet bond between human and animal.
This is born and raised. This is the ranch I work on. I'm the livestock manager here. So I raise all of our animals that we sell at our storefront. We have beef, chicken, pork, and lamb. And so our beef and lamb are 100% grass-fed, grass-finished. And then our pasture-raised pork and chicken is the other thing once in operation.
Grass-fed is the key here, and Emily is proud to say that her mission is to keep her animals happy and healthy. It makes for a better product and a more satisfied rancher.
It has a lot of health benefits. I know a lot of people like it just because they're concerned to be more health conscious. So we practice rotational grazing, and so we have a couple different pastures here on the ranch. And so one of them is 70 acres, and I split it up into 4 different paddocks. And so every 2 or 3 days, they graze that one down. I move it to the next one, just so that first one can get a break. I believe, and what I do on the ranch is I want the animals to have the best luck possible. And so I want them to be grazing the best they can. It really promotes a good product.
When you run an operation like this, there seems to be never enough hours in a day. And if running this ranch wasn't enough, by the time she gets here, she's already put in a day's work at her own chicken and beef farm, which is an hour and a half away.
You can never have enough ranch. These are my family cows. These are some of the ones I've raised since I was in high school in FFA. And so they're all pregnant right now, expecting babies, or hoping to have some calves here before summer.
And along with all those cows, there's the chickens. And today she's up to her bootstraps in chicks, fresh from the hatchery.
So chickens are a daily operation, and so I have to be here every day because I have to be down in Emory every day. But here we feed the chickens in the mornings. We move their coop to a new pasture, and then they graze it the rest of the day while I go down to Emory and I take care of everything down there. And then that's pretty much what it is. This is extremely important. I think a lot of people are negligent to the food they put into their body, to how animals are raised.
Emily is a reminder that passion can forge its own legacy. One where love for the land, respect for the animals, and responsible practices come together. In her life on the ranch, you'll find more than a caretaker. You'll find a young visionary with a mission.
I also feel like it's a little bit of a dying industry. Not many farmers and ranchers, small farmers and ranchers are around anymore just because of the price of land and kids not really being involved with it anymore. So I think this is a really good way to preserve what makes Texas, Texas. I don't think there's anything I can do. I can do it all. I like to do it myself. I think things are better done when I do it myself. So it makes me feel better to know I did that. That's a product I created. So I was definitely born to do this. I believe it.
Coming up, we'll travel to South Texas for a taste of, you got it, mesquite bean jelly. Don't go away. Now, one of the things that we're really proud of at the Texas Department of Agriculture is our Go Texan program. Now, that helps promote some of the best products grown and produced right here in the Lone Star State. Now, as a rancher, I thought the only thing that mesquite trees were good for was firing up a barbecue pit. But down at the Capadona Ranch in Lynn, Texas, these Go Texan members, they got some different ideas about the mesquite. In the sun-scorched pastures of South Texas, where without irrigation, most crops wither and die, the unirrigated mesquite tree stands defined. Golden pods dangle in the blazing sun. Now, to ranchers, it's a scourge, a thorny weed with roots that bury into earth 150 feet, stealing water and taking up valuable space. But in the hands of Victoria Barrera Capadona and her staff of cooks, this outcast means good eating. And here at the Capadona Ranch, Victoria transforms the humble mesquite into a symphony of healthy delights, breathing life into a native gift many think is a nuisance.
A mesquite tree is a beautiful tree. Many farmers and ranchers think of it as a double tree, the water hog, the double with roots. But a lot of people don't know that it was once 20% of the native Indian diet. And the earliest information we have of the mesquite and Indians consuming it as a food was Cabeza de Vaca when he was captured along the Gulf Coast. He journaled how he saw Indians pounding the mesquite with a metal tool or a stone on stone and making it into like a flour, a powder. They mixed it with earth and water and made a cake, and they consumed it, and it was delicious.
Even the coffee smells chocolatey. It's really smooth.
And many people don't know that out of all the mesquite in the United States, Texas holds 76%. So it's important.
And so we're trying to bring back this beautiful tree that doesn't just produce a bean, which is a fruit, and when milled into flour is a superfood. We are here to educate, our local community of what our native edible plant has to offer.
It was 2012, in the grip of a merciless drought, when Victoria first heard the mesquite's call. The ranch lands of Lynn, Texas were burned, brown, cracked, Yet the mesquite tree stood proud, unaffected by this relentless heat. And that's when she asked her father-in-law a question.
I had said, Fred, oh my goodness, look how everything is barren and dry. But all the mesquite trees are green with these beautiful beans, golden beans hanging from them. And I said, can anybody do anything with these beans? And he said, yeah, I have a friend of mine down the road that harvests these beans. And every Christmas he gives me a jelly, a mesquite jelly. And I said, no way.
And that was the start of a culinary enterprise.
So we went out and harvested for the first time, came back and had several different recipes, and through trial and error, we created a jelly. So every summer, we would harvest, and then during the fall, we'd end up, making, cases and cases of beans, but we would give it away to our family and friends. And so my husband said around 2015, I think we have something here.
This is the tea, basically the essence. And with this essence is the base of all our simple syrups and our jellies.
The mesquite bean, small, bountiful, hides a secret. Hey, it's naturally sweet, low in sugar, gluten-free, and it's delicious.
It makes everything just a little bit healthier and tastier because the flour has hints of vanilla, nutmeg, and chocolate. So it's good for you.
Flour mixes, teas, coffee, many flavors of jelly, and even some of her own creations. Victoria takes pride in her work and pride in being a Go Texan member.
Being a Go Texan member, you get a lot of perks, and you also get to learn about what they have to offer you and what things are available for you and to better yourself and your business. And I love it. I'm very, very glad to be a Go Texan member.
Victoria's creations come with one more thing you won't see on the label. That's her love. There's a little bit of Victoria in every product that leaves her South Texas ranch.
Every bit of me is in those jellies. I'm Victoria Barrera Capadona, and I'm Go Texan proud.
Texas, our Texas with Sid Miller.
It's part of our new program format. Time to time, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you some things that Texas Department of Agriculture does that you just might want to learn more about. Now, this week, we're out on the highway. We're going to take a look at our Biosecurity Inspection Station. It's where we protect Texas and Texans. Hey, it's demanding, but a vitally important job.
When a truck pulls in, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stop the driver and we're going to ask them for all their paperwork they have for their for the load that they're hauling. Once we've gathered all of their paperwork, we're going to take it into account, see where it's going. If it's not going into the state of Texas, we don't do too much digging beyond that point. Once we've determined that it is going into the state, we will reference our quarantine manual and determine whether or not it needs to have additional paperwork for the articles that are on the truck. My name is Pierce Barrow. I'm with the Biosecurity Division of the TDA. I'm from out in Orange, and we're in Falfurrias today looking for plants and produce coming into the state of Texas. So right now we've been instructed, because we don't really have any active quarantines for Mexico, We do have a directive to kind of monitor incoming varieties of produce. We've been informed that the cartels are using some of these produce fields in Mexico that they're funding with drug money to flood the American market and kind of force the American competition out of it. They can undercut everybody, force them out of business, and so we're trying to prevent that from happening. Typically, in terms of number, we're looking at about anywhere from 200 an hour to 300 an hour, depending on time of day. And then if it's plants, a lot of times we'll check those for pests and diseases whenever they come in. And so when we inspect those, we'll actually open up the truck and hop in and investigate the foliage and all that stuff, looking for scale and, you know, just an abundance of pests that could result in the shipment being turned around. He was carrying tomatoes going to Arizona. So once I saw that the product was heading to Arizona, I knew my job was basically done because it's not stopping anywhere in Texas. I think it's pretty important in terms of, you know, keeping Texas agriculture safe. You know, we're kind of the first line of defense. That's what they tell us. You know, we're kind of the first people to see whether or not the plants coming into the state are riddled with pests and diseases. And so our goal is to stop them from making it to the store with those pests and diseases, making sure they have all the appropriate paperwork to make sure that our agriculture that's locally grown isn't affected by outside sources.
Each year, TDA inspects thousands of commercial vehicles and trucks, all in an effort to ensure that we keep Texas safe. Hey, hang on, we'll be right back. Edom, Texas. The day comes alive after clearing of a soft veil of East Texas mist. Dew clings to row after row of plump, ripe berries, and the day begins soft and peaceful as owner Chuck Arena checks this year's crop and prepares for a busy day.
Another farmer told me one time, you get what you put into it, you take care of those plants, and they will show appreciation and give you fruit. The different varieties are for, I don't need this whole 10 acres to come ripe in one day. I need these to be ripe this week and those to be ripe next week, and then those and those, and we always have ripe berries for customers to come out and pick. We prune so that they have new growth. We water so they are consistently happy. We give them a little bit of fertilizer, and we maintain.
Now, Chuck wasn't always a farmer, but he was tired of corporate America, so he bought this place after he saw a land ad in the newspaper. Well, that was 25 years ago. And today, Blueberry Hill Farms is one of the top destinations in the state to hand-pick your blueberries. For just 8 weeks a year, Chuck opens his land and his store to people who come from all over to gather these sweet Texas treats.
It's amazing how many travel more than an hour to get here. A lot of them come from the Dallas, Farmers Branch, Fort Worth, Mineral Wells, all over. Some people come from Oklahoma. The attraction's family, and then picking your own fruit and seeing where it comes from. And a lot of families are just happy to get out in the country. It's really beautiful out here.
And there's more than just picking for you here. Inside is a blueberry paradise of cuisine.
We make blueberry ice cream that people just love. We make blueberry lemonade, blueberry donuts, Saturdays and Sunday only. Turnovers, blueberry muffins, 3 kinds of blueberry pie. We make a blueberry cream pie, a blueberry traditional flour top, and a blueberry sugar crunch buttery top. And then we make blackberry pies. We make zucchini bread loaves. We make bread pudding. Yeah, we always have a good treat in here.
Chuck Arena is another one of those accidental farmers we run across now and then. He bought this place on a whim, but it grew to be a passion. Farming has a way of doing that to people. It grows on you.
When I bought the place, I bought it kicking and screaming. My wife wanted it. And I've grown to really love it. I do love the outside work. I love it. But I do realize that when I was 42 and bought this, I wasn't thinking about the Chuck Arena at 67. But it can be rewarding. It's very rewarding to see people come out here and pick their berries.
Now remember, Blueberry Hill Farms is only open for 2 months each summer. Opening day depends on when the berries are ripe and ready for picking. So check the website for the dates and times that they'll be open. That's all for this week, folks. I'm your Texas Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller. And remember, friends, Texas agriculture matters.